Hi YouTube, I'm Wheeler Dealer, and we're doing a tier maker. I haven't done one of these in a long time, but I figured it's the last night of our pledge drive. I don't want to play a stressful game. I don't want to sit here and mess with my capture card. I just want to hang out with y'all and do a tier maker for new metal bands. Now, I could give half a shit about some of the bands in this list, and I'll put no opinion. I will. I have no problem doing that. But some of them I really like a lot. And some of them I really don't care for. So let's get into it. Chat, you're all going to have opinions, and I cannot wait to see your opinions. I can't wait. Also, I'm wearing a Pachita beanie on my head. Let's just go through in order. And the list is kind of long, but not too bad. So we'll get through this. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about a lot of them. My opinions on some of these are just whatever. Like, don't ask me, hey, name 3 songs. Some of these, I won't. Edema, I have no opinion. 40 Below Summer, couldn't name a song to save my life. Third Strike, maybe I've heard a song. But let's get into 311. I'll tell you what about 311. I bought their self-titled record. I went back and bought the one before that. Grassroots. I was in college at the time, okay? It was the 90s. 311 was big. I was still into metal and death metal. But it was fun. It was kind of not really heavy, but kind of... But it was fun music. Death metal can get to be a little bit of a grind. Well, that's grindcore. So have some fun with your music. Then I kind of got tired of 311. Like, they got a little played out. Fast forward to about, what, 7-8 years later, they're on a soundtrack for a movie called 51st Dates, and they are doing an incredible cover of The Cure's Love Song. It's a great cover. And I was like, holy crap. Am I underrating 311? Do I choose to listen to 311? No. Is it a running joke with me and some people here on the stream whenever my KD in a shooter is 3 kills, 11 deaths? Absolutely. My favorite band? No, of course not. But I'm not going to put them too low. I think they're a low C or a high D. And again, I'm ranking them in the new metal space, not in the all music space. Because honestly, for all music, 90% of the bands on this, I wouldn't listen to. I have not listened to in forever. But for new metal bands, for me personally, I'm not ranking where they are in the pantheon. Maybe a little bit. 311 was big, but they were big for a very short window. Chat, what do you think about 311? Starting with my favorite band. There it is. There it is. Oops, all no opinions. That would be funny. Just do that. Would never think of 311 as new metal. See, I wanted to say that because they kind of started in like what, 97, 96. They got big in 97, 98, but they were already kind of played out early 2000. They had the Amber was that radio hit. I think people were like, this sounds a lot like the last record, and I don't know that they just didn't grab hold beyond the 2 records. Are they really new metal? Kind of. They dress like it. I think if you watched a 311 video with the sound off, you'd be like, that's new metal. So that's why I'm okay with putting them there, but I hear you. 3 and 11, the Trains, they're more Sublime than new metal. Well, okay. Is Sublime on this list? They better not be. That would be bad. Wow, I gotta scroll a lot of S's. All right, no Sublime. Good. 36 Crazy Fists. Let me tell you something about 36 Crazy Fists. Underrated as hell. Great songwriters. Albums that still hold up to this day. And I would put their debut, Bitterness the Star, up against the vast majority of the bands that are on this list right now. I still listen to 36 Crazy Fists. I don't want to go S because to be S on this list, you also have to really have made it, in my opinion. So like great songwriters, but also like top tier, like for a stretch. They were the, you know, some of the kings, like on the high level. They never got to that level. What sucks is I never saw them headline anywhere bigger than like Trees, which is a bar here that holds maybe 600 people. So it's like, man, they deserved bigger and better than they got. But I will put them at A, which I think is the highest they should be. Was Killer live? They played our convention ages ago. They're so good live. Brock Lindau was Just such an impressive vocalist. Band is from Alaska, by the way, but rest in peace. They finally called it quits like a year or two ago. Alien Ant Farm. God, you know, they're known for that song, that cover of the Michael Jackson Smooth Criminal. It's a fun cover. Gimmicky as hell. I couldn't name another one of their songs, but I'm going to rank them somewhat fairly because everyone who has seen them live comes back to me and says they kill it live. Also, I have a friend who was in a band that opened for them in Amarillo, and he was all ready to like come out of that hating them. And the next day I talked to him and I was like, how was Alien Ant Farm? And he's like, dude, they were so fucking nice. Like, they were so nice to us. They were like, come hang out in our green room, eat our food, drink our beer. Like, they just wanted to chat and chill with us. Headlining bands don't do that. So it's like, they're really nice guys. Musically though, is how I'm ranking them, so I gotta put them as a D. I'm sorry. I hear you guys are wonderful live and that you're really nice people. I'm sorry. I couldn't name another one of your songs. That's a reflection of me being more of a death metal guy. All right, I'm sorry. Eddie, are you okay? D. All right, T-Words agrees with me. The Smooth Criminal cover alone puts him S tier. You got to do more than one song in a cover that's a gimmick like that. You got to do more than that for me. If you would put them S tier, all right, I hear you. R tier. Oh, stop it, Wish is also a jammer. Shout out Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 soundtrack. Okay. I don't know that one. I've probably heard the song 100 times and didn't know. Okay. Noted. American Head Charge. No opinion. Sorry. I've probably heard a couple songs. No opinion. Cell Dweller. Couldn't recognize them in a Police lineup. Sorry. Chevelle. Oh my god. They have to be S. I'm sorry. If you don't think Chevelle were S tier, what planet were you on? That record with the red, Wonder What's Next, that record is fucking amazing still to this day. And they were playing big venues for a stretch. They're still good. Even their first record, Point Number 1, really good record. Chevelle is an S tier nu metal band, even though I don't really consider them nu metal. More alternative rock. They had some kind of thick guitars on Wonder What's Next, but these guys were all over the radio, and for good reason. They're really good songwriters. I have seen them live, but it's been a long time ago. I don't have strong opinions about nu metal, so that's probably the only time I'm chiming in. Well, jump in. I'd go A, but can't go S. Okay. As we go on this list, others are going to work their way up and work their way down, and then we'll start shifting. But for me, on my gut right now, with the bands that are up here, I'm going to go S. All right, Chimera. They were almost too heavy to be nu metal. Their Pass Out of Existence is a heavy freaking record. I just don't know that they're nu metal. But if you want to lump them in there, I have a lot of respect for Chimera. They're great live. For me, they're going to end up high B or low A. I don't reach for them anymore. Recently I went and grabbed Pass Out of Existence and I listened to it. It's a tough listen today. Like, it's kind of Fear Factory-ish, but more simplistic guitar riffs. But for its time, oh my god, that record slapped. They have put out some good records since then, but I can't go higher than that, and they're probably going to end up high B for me, honestly. Super nice, but too heavy for this. I agree. Oh, they're nice guys, you're saying? Where are Backstreet Boys? Limp? They're on the poster in your bedroom. Cold Chamber. This one sucks because I really like Cold Chamber. I've seen them live a couple times way back in their heyday when they were headlining. And man, those first two records popped. They were all over Headbangers Ball. You could make the argument that they're S tier. And at this point, maybe even above Chevelle. But man, when the Mighty fell, they fell hard. Now, they're not D. They're not even C. They're probably B. But when you think about nu metal, they're like one of the top 5 bands you think of. So I kind of need to put them up here. For me personally, though, I rank them a hair above Chimera. But they are as new metal got. The mascara, the Junko jeans, the weird spiky hair, all of that. They were a visual epitome of new metal. Gotta go away. Dirty Pop documentary on Netflix. Oh, I don't know. Okay. They are the newest of the new. Cold. I've been preaching about Cold for years. I've been preaching about them in my Discord, !Discord in the chat if you want to go and chat with us about music or movies or whatever else. Cold's record 13 Ways to Bleed on Stage was in my 5x5 on my music listens just the previous week. I reach for this album multiple times a year. It is still a fantastic record. I'm ranking them S, even though most people won't. But they're way more new metal than Chevelle. They did not get as big, but they got bigger than Crazy Fists. They never got as big as Cold Chamber or Chimera. But for me, musically, they have to be S. Until I get further through the list, and then maybe I'll change it. The album's called 13 Ways to Bleed on Stage. Go grab it. I'm telling you, it's fantastic. In the genre, S. Yes, they were so good. I feel like I'm back in high school. Hell yeah, Limp. Wait a minute. You're younger than me? I could have swore you were older than me. Just kidding. Crazy Town. God, this one. Okay, some of y'all are going to hate this, man, but Crazy Town for me is kind of on the 311 tier. I'll put them a little higher. Honestly, the song I've listened to the most that has Shifty Shell Shock on it, rest in peace, is Starry Eyed Surprise, which was a song he did with Paul Oakenfold on the Bunka record. Incredible song. As a band, Butterfly, you sampled a Red Hot Chili Peppers riff. Come on, that's your most popular song was you sampled Chili Peppers? I can't go higher than C. I'm sorry. Some of y'all are gonna disagree. That might be that might be a hot take. I don't know. No opinion. Rest in peace, Shifty. Yeah. They have to be D just for Butterfly. Yeah, I'm gonna put them below 311. They might end up in D. Crossbreed, no opinion. Darwin's Waiting Room, no opinion. Deftones, top of S tier. Don't say a fucking word to me. If you even think they're less than S tier. The only person I know who doesn't like Deftones is Heavy Hand Swings. And we've debated it, and he ultimately has come around to say, I know they're good, I just don't get them. They don't push my buttons. Fair. I will meet you on that. They are... I could skip the rest of this list, and for me, they're number one. Full disclosure. I own multiple shirts. I've seen them live. I'm going to go see them again in March. With Mars Volta at American Airlines Center. I'm going. I'm fucking going. Like, no doubt. Won't get to shoot it. Don't care. Would love to shoot it. Don't care. Going. Floor tickets. It's happening. The only one that's in here that might compete for me would be System of a Down, but we'll get into that in a minute. Make me go crazy. Your age is really showing here. Shut up, Montrose. You're older than me. I just saw Il Nino on the list. Oh, God. You're going to hate my take on them. The Deft Ones. So there's a cover band here, and it's probably not the only one out there called Deft Ones, that they're a Deftones cover band. Apparently they're pretty good. I've not seen them. I don't care where, just far. Thank you, Koiser. I don't care where you go, just far. Got him. Disturbed. Oh, God. Ooh, Do I not like this band? Listen, they got big. And I don't get why. Slightly heavier, but like a safe for work heavy. You know what I mean? Like the person you work with who thinks they're edgy and into heavy music wears their shirts and goes to their shows. And they could go on tour with Trivium, and Trivium is so much better, like on a totally different planet. I'm not saying they aren't technically proficient, but from a songwriting perspective, you could just tell Disturbed was wanting to have radio hits. And Trivium is kind of on the same level in terms of a draw for me. Maybe they don't make quite as much money, but their like Disturbed was into like 80s hard rock, but then they made it a little heavier. Trivium was into 80s thrash and kind of stayed with that, but still a hint of radio friendly. I'll always respect them more. I'm not gonna go lower than C because they brought a decent sensibility to mainstream radio, even though, God, the couple of songs they had as hits I cannot stand. Chat, what do you think? Their Sound of Silence cover, not bad. It's not bad. Again, these new metal bands did so many gimmicky covers of songs that didn't belong genre-wise, but I will give them credit. It's a pretty good cover. Disturbed was always hit or miss with me. Never could listen to a whole album. I couldn't get through half of a whole album. People have bad taste. The guy always sounds like he's clearing his throat. Thank you. You put him as D. It's fair. And they may end up there before this is done. The sickness was communicable. You wore Affliction shirts if you like Disturbed. Oh my God, got him. Fair. You know, it's funny. I was listening to a podcast. Dana White was on it, and they were talking about regrets. And it's like that whole era where everybody had Affliction shirts on. If we could just scrub that from the internet, and I was like, true. Not saying I'm a big fan of his. Maybe don't slap your wife. Sorry. All right. I met him. He was nice to me in person, but yeah. Okay. Dope. God, what do I say about Dope? This is tough. Because Dope were very new metal. But if you said, name a song, I can't. D. Drowning Pool. Man, Bodies. What a hit. That thing was on, like, the pinnacle. Fun fact, I saw Drowning Pool right when that song started to hit radio, but before it really exploded. But we all knew that song because it was starting to catch radio play. They headlined a bar in Amarillo because they're from, like, the Dallas area. And we went to that show, and they played Bodies, and everyone freaked out. It's fun. It's fun. I went with, like, my roommate and a couple of his friends who listened to more mainstream hard rock and metal. I went. I was like, hell, I'll go. Yeah, I got nothing going on. I'm glad I went. Singer died like a year later. So glad I got to see the original vocalist. I saw them again at an Edge Fest up in Frisco, and with their other vocalist, and I can't put they are bigger than Alien Ant Farm. That's the only reason I'm putting them higher. Drowning Pool B for Limp Lion. No higher than B. Wow, I was underranking them according to chat. Interesting. Dry Kill Logic. No opinion. Element 80. I had their debut and I listened to it and it didn't click with me. We're going to go ahead and do no opinion. This is where we're catching some no opinions. What does ETHS even stand for? No opinion. I like how Endo looks like a pill. That's great. Nice logo. Evanescence. Tough one. Saw them open for Muse last year. They were interesting. They are mainstream as hell for me. Way too much. She's a damn good vocalist. They were massive for their time. I've never owned an Evanescence record, so I couldn't tell you that I think they belong somewhere. Pretty new metal though, right? Is Evanescence new metal? Yeah, I guess we're gonna have that debate again. I didn't make this list. I have to say full disclosure. I did not make this list. This list was made by someone on the internet. First one I found. It's not a massively huge list. Will Wheeler ever rank a band in B tier? I just did. So remove that. Delete that. I'm going to report that poll. I literally just did it. Yeah. First Dry Kill was awesome. Worked it on Roadrunner. Roadrunner had some great new metal bands, I'll tell you. Exila, no clue. Factory 81. I haven't heard enough to really tell you. And we're gonna get to the point where this. Oh, wait, I need to like unpin this list. All right. Fear Factory. God, you know, I don't consider them new metal because they kind of came out in mid-90s and they were industrial metal. It's weird to see them even lumped in here. Oh, Freya says it's time for bed. Well, I'm sorry, Freya Pup. Dad's doing stuff for the doggos. Just not her. She gets the... My doggos get the most lovin's, okay? More so than any of the other doggos. I don't know where to put Fear Factor. I'm gonna put them... Fear Factory. Fear Factor. I'm gonna put them as an A because they were a big draw, and I love their first 2 records. I would even argue their 3rd record was damn good. Then I kind of fell off with them. Digimortal was where I was like, ugh, it's not good. But I had Soul of a New Machine. I pre-ordered Demanufacture, the t-shirt combo from Roadrunner that came with the t-shirt with the barcode with the spine. I pre-ordered that shirt. I wore that thing until it got holes in it. I wore it to so many concerts. I have to give respect and credit where credit is due. Also, Raymond Herrera, incredibly nice guy. Incredibly nice guy. I've gotten to meet him multiple times because he did a bunch of gaming stuff and he would cruise the booths at E3. And he came by the Sega booth one time and I was like, I saw his badge. I was talking to somebody and I kind of saw, like, and I looked at a badge and I saw Raymond Herrera and I was like, wait, what? And I look up, it's fucking Raymond Herrera. I'm like, you're Raymond Herrera. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, Fear Factory. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, dude. Yeah. Fun moment. He's like, hey, thanks for recognizing me. He was super nice. So shout out. I've also heard Burton Seabell is amazing. Like, super nice guy. I'm sure T-Works can tell a lot of stories because I know you worked like most of their records. I don't call Deftones new metal, so Fear Factory has to be an S. Yeah, but they're like, the records in the last 4 or 5 records are just okay. I reach for them less than I reach for 36 Crazy Fists, and that's why I'm going to put them as an A. But I hear you. The original band was the nicest, except Dino. Yeah, we've heard lots of stories about Dino. When do you think nu metal started? That's a question for T-Works. T-Works is the expert in this. Because for me, it had to be late 90s. It had to be. When Cold Chamber's first record came out, and when Korn came out in 95. Well, let's just go ahead and grab Korn right now and put them at top tier. Korn is S tier. Like, we know this. We know this. Korn is S tier. They're ahead of Chevelle. They're ahead of Cold. Cold's gonna have to drop down. Cold's gonna have to drop down to A. Let's be honest. Korn might be the biggest nu metal band on the planet, and I would say it started with them. They had the 7-string guitars. They had the weird vocal thing. They had a look to them that was kind of street culture, kind of Adidas. It started with Korn, right? I mean, am I crazy? Limp, someone time him out for making fun of 36 Crazy Fists. You're about to get timed out. Well, make me do it. The Fever. I don't know who that is. I'm skipping around, but Korn, obviously top tier. You cannot argue with Korn being top tier. And if you can try, but you're gonna fail. Wow, wacky action back. Finger 11. That's just a terrible name for a band. No opinion. 5.0. Heard their first record. Not memorable. Flyleaf. From Zero. Blah 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 blah. Time out these nuts. You're gonna get it. I would think early to mid 90s. Johnson started with Hot Topics opened. That's good. But as a genre of music, I would argue the first Korn record. If there was something that came before that was inspirational to the genre, I'm all ears. Flyleaf. No Flyleaf. No, that. What was their song? Got the life. Hey, Follow the Leader's still a pretty damn good listen. All Around Me? Okay. I didn't put them as an F. I put them as no opinion. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I couldn't name a Flyleaf song. I'm a death metal guy. I like death metal and grindcore and tech death and prog metal. Which, by the way, prog metal, can we just say, Carnival is on this list. Okay. I love Carnival with every fiber of my being. Their debut album is kind of nu metal-y. They're not a nu metal band. I'm putting them as no opinion. but my opinion of them as a band is S tier. They went from kind of new metal-ish on the first record to prog metal Tool type sound on Sound Awake, which is still one of my favorite, oh god, favorite prog metal albums of all time. Then they put out a record that pushed the boundaries a little bit. It's been like 8 years since their last record, and they just won't put the fourth record out. They've written it, they've recorded some of it. Where is it? Carnival, where's your record? A lot of people don't know Carnival because they're in Australia and they have not toured the US much, but they're not new metal. Their first record is inspired by it a little bit. No. Korn's considered the creator of the genre of new metal. Okay. I'm so sick. Oh, that's the Flyleaf song. I'm so sick. Okay. That's the only song I could tell you about. I still don't have an opinion. It's fine. Sure. I didn't hate that song. I didn't love it. But thank you for clarifying. Carnival played poolside at an early Red convention. I'm so jealous that you've gotten to see them live. I'm so jealous. I've told the story before. When I got to meet Northlane, and Ian sang on a song with Marcus on the new Northlane EP, a song called Afterimage. Incredible song, by the way. And I was like, Marcus, where's the new Carnival record? And he just chuckled. I'm like, you have it on you, right? Just hand it over. You got MP3s on your phone or something? You just... Ian and them won't care. And he's like, I haven't heard it. And I'm like, shut up. He's like, I haven't heard it. No one's heard it. They are... He goes, I think they're constantly tweaking it because they're very aware of a kind of a legacy that they have with their fans, and they do not want to... They don't want to put it out until it's 100 out of 100 perfect. And I was like, okay. Now imagine him saying that in an Australian accent. It's much cooler than the way I say it. I was like, okay. I really would like to hear it. Y'all are great. I also love Carnival. It's great that you got Ian to sing on that track. He's like, oh, I know, it was great. Carnival are amazing. I love them. They are not new metal. Flyleaf is from Belton, Texas. I don't know where Belton is. Godsmack. Okay. I'm going to do this, and y'all just bear with me for a second. I'm blaming tribal tattoos on Godsmack. They're F tier. Get out. Get out. Go away. You had a couple of radio hits. You had some distorted guitars. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever heard. You created tribal tats. You made them popular. You put one on an album cover. Get out. You're barely even new metal in the first place. You were massive. You had a lot of hits. You toured big arenas. I don't want you on my list. F. Bye-bye. You're the first F tier. Be sure to like and subscribe after that hot take, that lava take. Don't you effing dare. Yeah! I faked you out with that S. I was hovering it up there. You had that on S tier. I thought I was going to have to riot. Man, I wish I'd have been in Discord with you to hear that. I'm glad I wasn't. I'm glad I wasn't, because you'd have been yelling in my ear. It would have been like a jump scare. Did you like that? That was my little, behind the back pass, the no look into F tier. L tier, even worse. Look at chat is all in agreement that Godsmack is F tier. I'm sorry, they have not aged well. Guano Apes don't know him. Head PE. Their albums have aged so poorly. It was more hip-hop than metal, but still kind of metal. I saw them live twice, and they were so much fun. I'm telling you, I don't know how to rate this band because on record, they're not great. And it has aged so poorly. But man, were their live shows fun. I'm gonna go D, high D. Okay, low C. They're still touring. They're still a band. I gotta give them a little bit of respect for that. They just played Trees like a couple months ago. I was like, wait, Head PE's coming here? No way. I'm not going, but good for them. They're still out there grinding. Or none of them could hold down day jobs. I don't know. They're really fun live, but man, that is an era of music that you cannot repeat. It will never happen again. Chef Lucha never listened to Godsmack. Cool. Keep it that way. They're not the worst. It's just the most saccharine radio type stuff, most of it. And then they try to sound hard. And they had one song where I was like, that's not a bad riff. If that was on a different song or by a different band, I might like it. As a drummer, I'm a fan. You play drums? I thought you were a guitarist. You can't do both. Try to drum and play guitar at the same time. There's like an Instagram guy, Aaron something, does that. He's drumming, but he's like a one-man band. He has like a drumstick duct taped to his baseball cap visor, and he's like tss, 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 hitting cymbals and stuff, and kick drumming while he's strumming. Is that you? Is that what you do? I'm messing with you. Don't talk to my Koist that way. Too late. I'm a fan of Shannon Larkin. Godsmack did get better once he joined for a few albums anyways. Okay, look. I'm not saying they aren't talented. I just personally have zero tolerance. Get them out. I don't want them. We put out a Head P greatest hits and it was 5 songs long. T-Words, I'm so glad you're here tonight because this is working out really, really well. You are the historian of new metal because you sold so many of these bands. I started with drums. Apartment life isn't drum friendly. Fair. Incredibly fair. Drag my balls on. T-Bag your fucking drum kit. Alright, next is Hollywood Undead. This is a tough one because I don't really care about them all that much. But they put on a really good show. I just shot their show here. They opened for oh my god, Hailstorm. And it was a fun show. It was a fun show. They don't wear the masks anymore. They kind of ditched all that. They are multi-instrumental. They all can sing pretty well. They all can play guitar or bass or keyboards. They're all running around playing different instruments at different times. I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, I'll give them some credit. Could I name more than one of their songs? In fact, don't even ask me to name one. Me personally, I'll put them as a low C because they did pop a bit for some folks, but I don't reach for their music really, so I'm gonna put them there. They're ahead of Alien Ant Farm and Dope, but not by a whole lot for me. They're considered metal. I mean, kind of, not really. You say they're an F. Maybe I'm overrating them at C, but it's a low C. Head PE greatest hits. That is funny. All right, Il Nino. Listen, y'all. I tried with this band. I listened to their first 2 records, and I had no opinion. I just was like, sure. In fact, you know, I'm taking Carnival out of no opinion, and I'm just putting them down on the list because they're going to stay on the list. I don't even want to put them as no opinion. That makes it sound like I don't know anything about the band. I love them. I love them. Incubus. Were they new metal? They were more like alternative rock. Like, if Incubus is new metal, then Red Hot Chili Peppers are new metal. I don't think they should be ranked new metal. I like me some Incubus. They've put out a couple of damn good records. Make Yourself. Holy crap. Incredible record. Came out at a time when new metal was really popping. But was that new metal? I don't think so. I hate to rank them. I really do. And by the way, Kid Rock is not getting ranked as new metal. So I'm putting him down here too. I'm not ranking that guy at all. He was a little bit of hip hop with some guitar. He's not new metal. It's not. Kid Rock is not new metal. Now Kid Rock's like country rock. Like, come on, get out of here with that. You agree about Incubus? Thank you, Limp. I said earlier to escort Kid Rock out of the building. We're not talking politics. All right, Incubus, not new metal. I'm sorry, they're not. I'm going to put them down at the bottom as I'm not ranking them. I like them. They were just here a couple weeks ago. They played a Sony event during E3, a Sony PlayStation event, right outside. They had set up a stage outside of Dodger Stadium in the parking lot. Really cool. Great show. And they have another record, Light Grenades. Oh my god, Light Grenades is a great fucking record. If you have not heard Light Grenades, I reach for that more often than I reach for Make Yourself. I do like the band. Kitty. I saw Kitty touring their first record. They played a little bar in Amarillo. They did their cover of Run Like Hell by Pink Floyd. And I don't think that's gimmicky. I think if you're picking a band like that, you're not picking a pop song. They went with a Pink Floyd cover. Great heavy version of Run Like Hell. Look, I'm putting them as a B, and that's not because they have female members. That's not where this is. I think Kitty, obviously they're not on the same level as Evanescence, but they've written some pretty good songs. They're damn good live. They're still doing it too. They got back together. Maybe they're going to end up as a C, but right now I'll leave them as a B. They're back together. That's what I'm saying. Level, don't know who that is. Limp Bizkit. Oh God, I knew I was going to have to rank this. Whatever I rank, I know someone here is going to clip this and share it with Zilf, my boys in Zilf. Because Joe is like the biggest Limp Bizkit fan on the planet. Even though he plays like the zaniest math metal. Limp Bizkit's having a bit of a resurgence lately. It's almost like so bad it's good. And it's people who grew up with their music now who are starting to have their own children. And it's their escape from their corporate lives now and their 9-to-5s. And they go to see Limp Bizkit, who just played here a month ago at the venue I'll be at tomorrow night to see Slipknot. 25,000 people. I respect them, kind of. I think Wes Borland is an incredible guitar player, much like Josh Travis with Emir. Insanely talented, deserves to be in a band that is better songwriters, isn't like bottom of the barrel musically, but they make so much freaking money in those bands versus what they would be doing if they were doing something more artistically fulfilling. So I don't judge them for being in those bands. He left. He went and did Big Dumb Face. He came back. You can't say no to that money. Fred Durst comes off as a douche like 90% of the time, but he almost plays into it like a joke now, it seems, with his old man type routine he's doing on stage, and it's kind of funny. And if you hear break stuff or rolling and you don't tap your feet, you probably don't have a pulse. And you could disagree with all of their machismo and the Woodstock 99, how they helped push the crowd to go and be a little out of control. More than a little out of control in some instances. There's 2 documentaries out there on streaming platforms. Go watch one of them. Either one's going to give you pretty much the same story. Having said all that, I saw them open for Korn and Helmet when Korn was just touring Life is Peachy. Their first record hadn't come out yet. $3 Bill Y'all had not come out yet. They played for 30 minutes. They ended with Faith. We laughed. It's another one of those gimmicky covers from a new metal band. I'm like, that was kind of fun. Forgettable. Next. Never. And I mean never. When I walked out of that venue, at the time it was the Mammoth in Denver, I never, ever would have predicted they would get as big as they did. 3 years later, they're playing McNichols Arena on the Family Values Tour in 98. No, that was even 3 years later. That was like 2 years later, because I saw them in late 96, early 97. Wild to think how big they got, how much they exploded with those records. So, all that to say, chat, you've probably been already posting about your opinions on these guys. It's really hard for me to rank them and actually keep a straight face because they are ridiculous and they know they're ridiculous, and it's like they're winking at you, and they deserve to be up here, but I don't reach for them very often. I'm putting them as a high B, and if you rank them as an S, totally understand. If you rank them as a D, totally understand. One of those polarizing type bands that you can go either direction with them, and I would totally get it. But you cannot deny, from a new metal perspective, they were up there with Korn. Korn found them, right? Fred Durst was a struggling tattoo artist, like trying to make ends meet, and he got to meet Korn when they came to get tattoos. That's literally how they got started. He's like, hey, you guys got to hear my band. Handing them a demo. So, without Korn, there's no Limp Bizkit. Chat, catching up with you. You're just anti-Canada. Oh, what was that about? I've already missed what band that was. LB is a boy band. Not true. There's a couple on here that are closer to that than they are. Soft spot for Limp Bizkit. That is probably the best way to put it. People who shouldn't like Limp Bizkit still have a soft spot for them. When they're on, I chuckle. When I go and boot up one of their videos on YouTube, if it comes up somehow, because someone links something to it, I watch it and just shake my head like, man, that was a time. Woodstock 99. Wes makes it hard to like them. Oh, so you maybe know more than I do. I don't really know anything about the guy. I'm just saying, as a guitar player, he is way better than that band deserves. Way more talented. Limp says S tier. Walking through school, seeing Fred Durst fit everywhere. So influential. If we're talking influence, they're right there with Korn. Fred. Okay, I was gonna say Wes. I didn't hear anything bad about Wes. He describes the boy band machine, yet doesn't recognize their boy band. Who bought the airtime? What do you mean? It wasn't pale because it wasn't technically a radio advertisement. I'm missing what you're talking about on that. I'm over my head. Y'all are gonna hate me on Limp Bizkit. No, not Limp Bizkit. Linkin Park. You're gonna hate me. Linkin Bizkit. Limp Park. You're gonna hate me on this one. You're seriously gonna hate me. You're gonna get mad. But deep down, I hope you don't get too mad. Because I do not give a shit about Linkin Park. I don't. Don't care. By the time they were starting to put out records and get radio play, I was like, it's kind of new metal, but it's electronic. Yeah, that's a decent radio hit. Don't care. None of their songs have ever really pushed buttons for me. I'm too old, apparently, because there are people who are into really heavy shit, like Treebeard, who was in my Discord a few days ago, talking about how Reanimation, whatever that album, I don't even know the name of the album, is what he says is one of the greatest metal albums of all time. Okay, zero opinion. I have no opinion of the band. Don't care. Chester Bennington, incredible vocalist. Was he? I don't know. I've heard their records. They just bounce right off me. And that's not me acting like I'm elitist. That's not me saying they're a bad band. I know how many people hold them in such a high regard. And I respect that. Me, I've never once reached to listen to them. If they're on, I'm not going to argue. But I don't even like groove out like, oh, that's a great song. I'm like, yeah. It's just so generic to my ears, a lot of it. Even the radio hits. I get it. I get why it's catchy. It's almost like our boy Heavy Hand Swings with Deftones. And he's like, I just don't get them. I don't get them. I'm kind of like that with Limp. I did it again. Limp Park. Linkin Bizkit. Linkin Park. I'm kind of like that with Linkin Park. But there are people who, nobody hates them, right? They're this band. Well, maybe now. Maybe your fans aren't into Scientology? All right, sorry. Defending a rapist? All right, sorry. Was that out loud? Current events. I just don't care about Linkin Park. And I know a lot of you do, and that's totally cool. No issues. I would never talk you out of liking Linkin Park. I hope they have brought you so much joy. There's Treebeard. I'll fight everyone 0 bits. Unsubbing. I mean, I didn't say they're bad. I just they don't do anything for me. That's all. You got to hear Paper Cut. Post it in the Discord. I'll give it a play tonight or tomorrow. We're the wrong age for Linkin Park. That. T-Words is around my age. That is the truth. Unfortunately, had I been maybe 6 years younger, I think they would have really clicked for me. I think I'd already kind of heard a lot of the other bands in this space. They did some things a lot better. They clearly were the kings for a long time. I'm kind of like that with Bring Me the Horizon, too. There are so many people that love Bring Me the Horizon, and I hear some of their stuff, and I'm like, well, that's pretty heavy. Avenged Sevenfold. They grew up on early Metallica. Like that. They're all in that same space for me, where I know they're huge. I respect that. I just don't, they don't do anything for me. So, don't get mad. You don't have to agree with me. Deftones is garbage. Treebeard? Get out. I don't care where, just far. Koist did that earlier. I had to do it. Don't get out. Don't get out. I'm the perfect age for Linkin Park. Hybrid Theory. Deftones is not garbage. Deftones is not garbage. It's not garbage. He is striking back at me because I put Linkin Park in no opinion. It's okay, Treebeard. Do we want to talk about this? I'm not fucking with you guys on Linkin Park. Seriously, I just don't care. I will listen to some songs if you have a couple you want me to hear. Hybrid Theory. Yeah. I've heard Hybrid Theory. Tree Strikes Back. I think if you didn't hear Radiohead, your opinion would be different. Yeah, you can send me a few songs and I'll hear them and I'll probably appreciate them. But I don't know that I'll still have an opinion beyond that. Just like I've tried desperately to get Heavy Hand Swings to appreciate Deftones, and he's like, the pieces are there, they just don't click for me. I'm like, oh, are you serious? So it's okay. Everything is cyclical. We was out here like, no offense, and Tree is full offense. This Tree is horse shit. I mean, I don't know that I want to talk about it because I don't have an opinion. You send me a couple of songs. I know you said there was one that was like an anti-suicide message. I would love to hear that song. I've never listened to it. Send me a link. Is it on YouTube or Spotify? Send it to me. I will listen to it. And yet he likes Car Bomb, which is weird. Heavy? Yeah. I love Car Bomb, and yet I've not seen them live. I need to fix that at some point. Okay, moving on. Yes, the bit war is still going, and as of right now, Bago is still in the lead by about 600 bits. Moving on. Machine Head. Not really new metal. I'm not going to rank them. They toured with Cold Chamber. Not really new metal. Honestly, okay, if I ranked Fear Factory, I will rank Machine Head. They're right next to them in terms of their first two records were massive, incredible, great songwriting, but I don't really consider them new metal. They're just metal. They had that one album. Oh, yeah. And I guess Fear Factory had Digimortal, but dude, Supercharger, was it called? I'm thinking Super Collider by Megadeth. There was a Machine Head did Take a Swing. Burning Red. One of their records was kind of new metal-y, and I did not like it at all. No one thinks of that. Mass Hysteria, never heard of them. Minus, never heard of them. Motograder, I've heard, but it's been a long time, so I'm gonna put them there. Mudvayne. LD50 is the shit. LD50, that record still fucks. LD50 is what Christian from Mathcore Index says that album got him into more extreme music because it was a dip your toe in the water moment for some folks. I was already into some heavier shit at that point, but that record brought some folks into heavier music, and man, second record had its moments but wasn't as consistent of a listen. And then they put out Lost and Found, which was kind of radio friendly but also had some really good songwriting on it. After that, I really kind of stopped paying attention to them. I know their vocalist took off and did stuff with Dimebag and Vinny, with Damage Plan. Man, again, they're kind of new metal-y, I would say, but their first record is less new metal and more almost closer to Slipknot's first record than anything else. I'm gonna put them as a B. In fact, I think they should be up here, but that's my taste. Feel free to disagree. Motograder. Mudvayne, really new metal. Their third record, second record, third record, kind of, but not quite. Looking at your no opinion section, I see several bands I was huge into. Mudvayne is for sure new metal. I would just argue their first record is less new metal. It had the new metal attitude. They had the new metal look. I can listen to it now, and it has aged much better than a lot of the bands on this. Mushroomhead. Sorry. If you're into Mushroomhead, I'm sorry. Like, really, I'm sorry. There are so many better bands out there. Yeah, that was... I couldn't hide that. I remember watching the video for Dig on MTV. Oh my god, yes. Dun, 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 dun. Il Nino was unbelievably good. T. Wirtz, I'm expecting your full breakdown of Mushroomhead, of your opinion on Mushroomhead. Where is it? Hot garbage. I think I had a chance to shoot their show at the Granada last fall, early this year, and I passed. That made me a bad person. You can't say yes to everything. No one, no opinion. Sorry. Nothing good or nice to say about Mushroomhead. So you're not going to say no? Okay. That's a good way to put it. We'll send links to best El Nino songs. Okay. One. Send me one. You want to send me a couple Linkin Park, fine. But don't flood me with a bunch of songs from a bunch of these bands. Keep them to one. I only need one. I heard the first El Nino record. I was a buyer at Hastings, movie buyer, but we had a music department. They would come and run promos to me and be like, hey, listen to this, Wheeler, you might like it. And I'm like, Hey, First Nonpoint, they brought it to me. Wow, really like that First Nonpoint record. They're still a band. Wow, that first record hasn't really aged all that well. They're kind of Head PE for me. Personally, I like them more than Head PE. I can't put them above Drowning Pool. But that First Nonpoint record was pretty damn good. The second one was all right. And then I lost out on them. Do people in your life call you Wheeler? Kinda. Like at that point in my early to mid 20s, yeah, I think we all still. It was still that kind of high school thing of last names. Or they just throw it on my desk. This sucks. You're gonna like it. Agoraphobic Nosebleed was one of those bands. The album, the inner art was like their faces, but they're all warped, and the song titles were all messed up. And I remember the buyer Robert brought it over to me, and he goes, "This looks like something you're gonna like," and he just chucks it at me. I'm like, okay. There's 45 songs. Ooh, grindcore! Yay! Frozen Corpse stuffed with dope. Then I put it on, and I was in love. Agoraphobic Nosebleed, if you need them. Altered States of America, 99 tracks, 18 minutes long. That to me is grindcore. Get nails out of here. That's HM2 pedal core. Give me agoraphobic. This sucks. You're gonna like it. I probably dropped off the El Nino promo. You probably did. You probably gave it to them, and then one of them ended up on the giveaway cart, and then I snagged it. Got the best song in your Discord. Whole album is fire. Okay, if I like that song, I will go listen to the record. I have no shame in my 5x5 weekly having a bunch of new metal in it this week. Zero shame. It's also going to have some more Slipknot in it because I'm seeing them tomorrow. Cannot wait. Knock Loose is opening. Cannot wait. All right, I got to get this thing going because I've been talking a lot. I've been flapping my yap. We've still got a lot of bands left. Nothing Face. Okay. Nothing Face is with Cold, in fact, higher than Cold. And if you don't know Nothing Face, holy fucking shit. Rest in peace, by the way. Their vocalist passed away a couple years ago. Are you in for a treat? An audio guide to everyday atrocity. Incredible record. They have 3 records, and all 3 of them are unbelievably awesome. Skeletons. Holy shit. They brought a sensibility to their songwriting that has aged so well. I put them up there with Cold. I put them above Cold because they have 3 records that are equally amazing. And to this day, I will reach for Audio Guide to Everyday Atrocity and play it. Terrible album cover, like indie Xerox type thing. Incredible record. And the 2 they did after that, incredible. I have an autographed picture that my boy Justin, it was my going away present when I moved to Dallas in 2002. He got to see Nothing Face. I could not make it. He went to Lubbock and saw them. Got their set list, got them to sign it, and framed it in some art that he made and gave it to me. And I have it in my game room in the back. So they always hold a special place for me, and the fact that he did that for me was really cool. That he got them to sign a set list for me. Never heard of them. Nothing Face are the shit. And their music was ahead of a lot of new metal bands. Pump That Cold Chamber is A tier. Hey, Bago, you're back. And Bago, you're still in the lead on the Bit War. We're getting close to the end of the Bit War, by the way. When this tier maker's over, we're probably going to be ending it. I'm probably going to be listening to new metal tomorrow. Hell yes. You'll have seen KL twice before I've even seen them once. I'm sorry. Agreed on Nothing Face. Thank you, Tree. One of those really severely underrated bands from that era. Okay, OTEP. God, their EP, their first EP was really good. And their debut record had some bangers. Like, if you play Filthy, that song tears your face off. And then OTEP Shemaya really kind of fell down this well of craziness and political stuff and Yeah, their music is not good. It's not been good for a long time. I'm sorry. As much as I like their debut and their first EP, they had so much potential, and yeah. I mean, OTEP is an anagram for poet, so that already tells you it's a little... But some of the lyrics are inspired by domestic violence, sexual violence, and like thoughtful lyrics. And she was probably still is a really good vocalist live, but they just can't write their way out of a wet paper bag lately from the stuff I've heard. I haven't listened to the last record. EP and debut were so good. You're with me, Tree. They were so good. What happened to them? I never saw them live, though. They had a pig head on a stick? Holy crap. Soliciting ideas for TED Talk arena name. This is all you, unless Toko snipes it. Get ready, y'all. Get ready. Papa Roach. Seen them live as an Edge Fest. They were already on the... they are already, like, has-beens. I'm going to put them behind Drowning Pool. I have less respect for them, though, than Drowning Pool. A little bit more attempting to be radio friendly. And I would honestly rank Non-Point ahead, but I can't. I can't with any conscience, because those two bands were still pretty big, but Papa Roach. Kind of a running joke. I can't read that band name. Plemo? No idea. Poppy. This is not the Poppy that we're thinking of now that sang on a Knock Loose song. Her new single came out today. It's pretty heavy, actually. She's screaming in it. I'm going to try to get to where the rest of the bands are ones I know. Project Wise, don't know. Seated Crown, don't know. What is that? I don't know who they are. Sepultura is not new metal, and I refuse to vote on them as new metal. Tala, don't know him. Taylor Swift, don't know her. Super Hex? Sunk Low. This list is pretty, yeah. Steppa Pig. Simon Says. Shun. Scars of Life. I think I maybe heard him. Saliva. Reveille. Red. Don't know him. Deadlights. I heard that first record. I could not name a single riff off of it. Union Underground. Trust and Company. Twin Method. Twisted Method. We have multiple methods on here, folks. Ultra Spank. Un Loco. I'm not ranking these last four. They're not getting ranked. It's not happening. Tala is also a newer band. They're so good. Really? Okay. New Metal Revival. It is the Poppy I'm thinking of. I'm sorry. If this is the 2020s, I'm ranking new metal from like 90s to 2000s. I'm not going to have an opinion on the new stuff, all right? I'm just not. But I hear you, and if it's a revival of new metal, are we already back to that? I guess we are. All right. POD, kind of Christian metal, yeah? Kind of Christian new metal. They had a couple of radio hits. They were kind of big there for a stretch. I'm going to rank them a little higher than I should, if only because the last time I really got to spend time with my brother before he passed away, they were like on the radio constantly, and we were like joke singing along to one of their songs. And still, when I hear that song, it makes me smile, 'cause it makes me think of my brother and I. That's totally not related to the band, but it's just kind of like that personal connection that you make with stuff. But isn't that how we are with all sorts of music? I did not hate their music. I'm going to put them kind of down here, though. I gotta put them ahead of Head PE. I can't put them above Non-Point. Actually, I'm gonna put them behind Head PE. I will put them as a C, but they're one of those bands I think some people are gonna rate higher for sure. Tala's on Earache. Earache's still a label? Kidding. Powerman 5000 saw them on Ozfest '97. This is what it's like when worlds collide. They're a C. They're a C. Spider, their vocalist, is related to Rob Zombie? Cousin? Help me out with that, chat. I know their vocalist is related to Rob Zombie. They were super new metal. Like, they had the look, they had the lyrics, they had the music. Very new metal. They're, yeah, mid-C. Brother, thank you. I think when I went to that Weezer concert a couple decades ago, the kids were calling for El Scorcho, and then broke out Sepultura, and they showed. I'm not the biggest Weezer fan, but I know they are into heavier music, and I'll always like that. Geared up, geared up, geared up, drop the bombshell. You gotta sing it like that. It's back here. I'll sell. Wait, that's Scott Stapp. Someone could argue that Creed should be in here for new metal, even though they're not. Primer 55. I'm still gonna put them as no opinion. I had their first record. Don't even ask me what it's called. Rage Against the Machine. I'm not ranking Rage Against the Machine. They're not new metal. I'm sorry, they're not. They are not new metal. Any more than they were hip hop and heavy music put together. Not new metal. Nothing about their lyrics was new metal. Nothing about their look was new metal. Not much about their sound was even new metal, other than the fact that Zach De La Rocha rapped. That's it. They're not new metal. 100%. They're not. They are new metal. No, they're not, Tree. They're not new metal. I never liked Rage Against the Machine. One of my top 5 concerts of all time, Lollapalooza 2008, Rage Against the Machine. I posted about it in the Discord a couple weeks ago. Estimates at the time on Sunday, the day after, I was there Saturday when they played. Estimates were about 150,000 people through the gate. I'd say about 2/3 of those were on the side where Rage Against the Machine was playing. About 1/3 of it was over at Wilco on the other stage. 2 totally different crowds, right? I walked all the way to the other end of Grant Park to see what the crowd was like for Wilco and just to see a song. And then I walked right back to see Rage. And unreal. The fact that it was their comeback tour and the air raid sirens were playing for like 2 minutes straight and everyone's like anticipating. It's just this buzz. And they walk out there and they start playing Testify. And when that drum kicks in and everyone jumping in unison, fucking goosebumps. The crowd was so crazy. They tore down the front barrier like 2 or 3 times. Zach had to stop the show twice. I was towards the back. Like, I was like, I'm not going down front for that shit. No way. I was still young back then. No. Rage Against the Machine's first record came out. I was still in high school. I was a junior, about to become a senior. Game changer. Like, rewiring your brain. And I still reach for their second record and their third record. First record, I burned out so much back then, I can't even listen to it today. Township Rebellion. There's great songs in that record. Front to back, it was one of my all-time favorites. I've burned it out to the point where I can't reach for it now. But Evil Empire and Battle of Los Angeles are still really good listens today. Sleep Now in the Fire, fucks. Testify, fucks. Oh, God. Bulls on Parade. Are you kidding me? Seeing them play Bulls on Parade live, top 5 moment for me. Live concerts. You're not going to do what they told you. Limp isn't. Half this list is no opinion or unranked. Look, Riz, you can say that, but would you like me to do a prog death or a tech death list where I might have more of an opinion and y'all are going to be like, boring? I want music that y'all are going to have more opinions on. So yes, there's a lot of music on here I don't have an opinion on. They always miss me. Same with Deftones. Okay. All 3 times I saw Rage Against the Machine was amazing. Nu metal is defined as a combination of heavy instrumental. Okay, don't give me the Wikipedia definition. I'm saying my personal opinion. When you look at all these other bands and their look and their style and their feel in their sound, I just don't put them up there. They didn't care about being... Okay. If you're going to put a gun to my head and make me rank them, they're probably low S. But I just don't consider them new metal. I'll hear your argument. I don't think they're new metal. Personally, I don't. No one would have made that tier list. Oh, stop it. There's plenty out there. Do I count System of a Down as new metal? Yes. System of a Down, on their first record, they had more of the look of new metal. They kind of ditched it in the second album already. And let's just talk about System of a Down. So I'm totally biased. I work on their street team before their first record came out. Their 3-song demo that got them signed to Def Jam. and got Rick Rubin to produce their record. That demo, I used to hand that cassette demo out after other heavy metal concerts in the Denver area, along with stickers that had their original logo that was like written in almost like a cursive style that said System of a Down. It wasn't that logo that you see right here. I'm one of those people that can say I liked them before anybody else because I literally was on their street team before anyone knew who they were. I saw them open for Clutch and Slayer in June of 98. So just a couple weeks before their record came out, which was June 30th, 1998. And there was 2 other street teamers in the area that were there, and we all had a blast. We got to meet Slayer. We got to meet a couple of the guys from System, and they killed. And the crowd had no clue what was going to hit them. And seeing the crowd react the way we had been reacting, because we'd been hearing the record in bits and pieces, early internet time. There's times where they would, someone from their office would call and play a song over the fucking phone. I mean, we're talking 97. To see them pop like they did is something I would put on my tombstone. The fact that my name is in the thank yous of the first record. If you look up the first record, the one with the hand, the third paragraph, they list a thank you. They thank all the street teamers by name, and my name is in there. I peaked on June 29th, 1998. I say 29th because I worked at a store that sold music, and I worked in the video side of that. It was Hastings, but the albums came in on Monday. The guy, his name's Phil, he was the receiving manager, paged me, Jeremiah to the back, Jeremiah to the back. I was like, is it here? Is it here? And I ran, and he didn't even open it. Usually he would open CDs and like listen to them and then like reshrink them. He goes, you can have the honors. And I cut open a copy because I was like, I'm buying this one. I opened it up and I looked in the notes and my name popped off of it, and I went, he's like, what? I just handed it to me. He's like, holy shit. I don't know that I'll ever top that in my life. I've had my name in some credits of video games. I've met some famous folks, and I've had a pretty good run professionally. That was something I will never top. So when you talk about System of a Down in their first record, their second record, and beyond, I'm as biased as it comes. I've qualified all that. I don't think anyone can argue that if you want to consider them nu metal, this is where they belong. Personally, it's almost a tie with Deftones, because to me, Deftones are still relevant today. Where System of a Down put out 2 flawless records, and then they put out Steal This Record, which has some incredible music on it. Their cover of Metro is fucking great. They did a song called Starlit Eyes that was a tribute to Lynn Strait from Snot. Incredible song. Then there was tension in the band. Darren wanted to sing more, even though he was more like the hype man and then a great guitar player. And there was this push-pull, and they put out Hypnotize and Mesmerize in reverse order there. And if you put those 2, if you took the best songs off of both those records, I would say they have 3 flawless albums back-to-back. Instead, they did a double album, and I am lukewarm on both of them, other than a few really good songs on both of them. And then they broke up. Well, they played some reunion shows. I saw them live 4 times. Every single time they destroyed. I saw them play a matinee show in Denver at the Bluebird Theater, headlining. Static X opened. I was on Static X's street team. They had the same management, Streetwise management. So I was there to hand out cassette tapes and stickers for Static X before their record came out. No one knew who the fuck they were. And we'll get to Static X in a minute, but my connection with them is not as close. System of a Down is probably going to be the best on this list, and I don't know that I would ever put them lower than an S, even though I hate that they went out with a double album that's not on the level of the first 2. There, I've talked about it enough. Where are we on the chat? I would love to agree, but that's a genre definition Wikipedia calls out. Okay. I don't think that that's right, but okay. I think more funk punk than metal. System of a Down, Korn, Cold Chamber, early pioneers. Agreed. Napster helped. Man. Napster. You wouldn't download a car. LimeWire. You still have that CD? Of course I do. Of course I do. It's in the other room. They are the best of all time in nu metal. Tree, you and I are in total agreement. They took Slayer and the Dead Kennedys and combined them in a way that no one expected. And hearing the early stems of their first record as they were working on it, getting to hear it a year early and getting hyped for it and handing out these cassette demos. I mean, I went to concerts in Colorado Springs, which was like 3 hours south of me, to hand out stickers and stuff at shows. I was all over the place. Didn't pay me a dime. Was it worth it? 1,000 trillion million %. Because I got to be a part of something that ended up being huge. And by the way, can I just say, the girl I was dating at the time, we'd broken up, but we were still living together. It's a long story. Don't live with your ex. Break the lease. Notice me, senpai. Just, I don't care if you sign a year lease and then you break up after. Break the lease. Get out. Played the songs for her and she was like, I mean, whatever. It's not like they're going to get big. It's not like they're going to get popular. And I was like, A, I'm not doing it for that. Look at the rest of the music I listen to. None of that's going to get popular. B, I think they're fucking amazing. I think she said they're never going to get as big as Primus. Where you at now? LOL. Could argue SOD are still relevant from how many people bothered about performing again. Oh my god. Surge was just on a podcast that was like a Mark Maron podcast recently, and that was the question that kept coming up, and he's like, I mean, they keep dancing around it. I think they'll eventually come together, and him and Darren will be like, hey, my wallet's empty. My wallet's empty. I don't know. I mean, honestly, Surge has enough money, and Darren and they all have enough money. What about Steal This Album? Yeah, I mentioned Steal This Album. I like it. There's some really good songs on it. Some good B-sides and stuff. It's a good record. I like Steal This Album more than I like Hypnotize Mesmerize. They put out a new song. They did, although it was like a benefit thing. And it's kind of a song, kind of not. It's like a 2-minute thing. You're right, though, Riz. They did put a song out. They're not going to put in like a full record out. I wish they would. Toxicity, self-title, flawless. They're from front to back, flawless. You can't. I can argue the lyrics in Pogo are a little stupid. Still pretty much a flawless record. They did. That's right. 2 singles. They did a second one too. Those were on Bandcamp, I think. Dunkachino, consider yourself noticed. Devil and Cubert, yeah. Why the fuck did you take him away from us, you motherfuckers? Mudvayne C is criminal. Why? Where's Mudvayne? Do I have Mudvayne as C? Why am I not seeing them? I don't see Mudvayne in C. They're B. What are you talking about? Dunk? Come on, man. I have not heard Shavo's new band. Should I? Honestly, should I? Yeah, okay, alright. I'm taking way too long. We gotta get going through this. Reveille. Oh. Saliva. Seven Dust. Too good for this list in a lot of ways. A little too radio friendly at times. But for me, still incredibly relevant. Still pretty good songwriters. Hit or miss with some of their stuff recently. They're still active. I still consider them pretty relevant. This has me putting Chevelle down here. I can't put Seven Dust as an S though. I can't. They're just a hair below it. Seven Dust is S tier and you know it. I'm blind. Your no opinion tripped me out for being so large. It is. Well, dude, I'm doing the list for y'all more than anything else, right? New metal, I was already into heavier stuff and I'm older, so. But Seven Dust is S tier. They really are. They are! Oh my god, from their debut on. I saw them after their debut came out. They opened for Snot. It was Human Waste Project, Seven Dust, Snot. At the Bluebird Theater in Denver. Small place. I saw Snot twice live. Rest in peace, Lynn Strait. What a super nice guy. Hung out in the front lobby, chewing on his unlit cigar, meeting people, taking pictures, signing whatever people put in front of him. Just a super chill dude. Rest in peace, Lynn Strait. Lejean. They played their set. They played their 30 or 40 minutes. At the end, last song, before the last song, Lejean goes, they only had the first album to play. And he goes, just want to let y'all know we ran out of weed this morning. So if any of y'all have any, and you want to smoke us up, we'd appreciate that. So we'll all be out walking around in the crowd. Come say hi to us. And if you have weed, we would appreciate you smoking us up. Thank you. And they played their last song. They played Bitch. They ended with Bitch. And he was walking around the crowd, and I was just like, dude, Lejean, you guys are fucking sick. I love your new record so much. Like, you guys are popping, you know, whatever I said in the 90s. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. It's really nice of you to say that. I was like, I'm glad you came here. And he's like, yeah, I know. It's cool. It's our first time in Denver. And then in between us comes a one-hitter pipe. This guy just like, and like sticks it in between our faces. Like comically, one hitter. And I'm like I try to hold back a laugh. And Lejean goes, excuse me for a minute. I'm like, help yourself, man. And I didn't go bug him again. I was like, I just got to say what I wanted to say. Love your record. Glad you guys came to town. And he was, hit that thing. It's just, I'm talking about, hey, yeah, it's really cool you're here. Whoop. Love that. Love that. So fun. Also, drummer, fan of Morgan Rose. He's such a good drummer. He's really good. Consistently above average. Like, not going to blow your doors off, but man, he always brings it. Everything they release is gold. Talking about Snot, Angel Sun. Angel Sun is probably the best song on that tribute record, straight up. Was Colorado legal then? Hell no! I actually, by the time that record came out, I think I'd already quit. I only smoked for like a year and a half. It was just a phase, I guess. No, I quit because I was trying to get a job that was going to drug test me. And then they didn't call me back for months. And after I interviewed, I thought I did pretty well in the interview. And then all of a sudden they flew me out. So it's a good thing I didn't. And I just never got back into it. Now, that's a long story. We won't get into it. Okay, I'm going to get through the rest of this. This is taking way too long, and it's almost time to end the bit war. Skindred. I really have no opinion. I'm sorry. Slipknot is A tier. They still, I mean, I'm going to see them live tomorrow night. So if you talk about relevancy, also Slipknot got so many people into heavy music. You cannot even start. I was on their street team. I just moved to Amarillo. I'll make this quick because I want to get through this. I just moved to Amarillo from Colorado, but I was still on their street team because they were on Streetwise, their debut. And so I went to see them. They opened in a cowboy bar in Amarillo, Midnight Rodeo. It was them, Machine Head, Cold Chamber, and low ceiling fans. Sid, gas mask dude, bouncing, crowd surfing, trying to grab the ceiling fan. But the tour manager, I ran into him before the show. Because they gave me his name when they sent the box. They said, ask for this guy at the front. Ran into him real quick, and he's like, hey man, glad you're here after their set, or after you know, the last band, if you do your thing. But after the Slipknot set, I'll send a few of the guys out and have a beer with you. So be on the right stage right, basically, so the left side of the stage. After I did, me and my roommate and one of his friends, and Sid came out. Paul, rest in peace, came out. Who was the samples guy that had the long nose? He's not with him anymore. He came out, and then one other member. I can't remember who it was. And they all had a beer with us. No masks. And shot the shit. That record had only been out for like a couple months, and my roommate wasn't really into stuff that was that heavy. When I played it for him, he was like, these guys are really heavy. I'm like, fuck yeah, they are. And then they played live, and that place, they destroyed that place. But I was chatting with Sid. He was like standing next to me. I was like, dude, you almost got that ceiling fan. And he goes, I wanted to rip that down and take it on the bus so bad. I was like, dude, that would have been amazing. Like, they would have billed you for it. He's like, ah, fuck it, I wanted that ceiling fan. So they were amazing live. They're always killing it live, and I'm gonna see them tomorrow night. So cannot wait. Agree. Slipknot, not my favorite, but what they did for heavy metal is undeniable. 100%. I think Cold Chamber played in Boston tonight. For real? They're still together. Oh, that's why Devil Driver's guitar player quit, because Dez isn't probably going to come back. Saw the same tour at Dallas and Deep Ellum Live, but Slipknot headlined. Working their first album was awesome. I bet. Chris Fain. Yeah, that was his name. Yeah, the guy with the long nose. Thank you. The long nose mask. I was like, which one are you? And he pointed. He has the tattoo on his outer leg. He was like, I'm this one. I'm like, oh yeah, you're the samples and whatever guy. All right. I'm almost out of stories other than Snot were so good. I'm gonna put them as a high B because unfortunately we only got one record from them. I can't put them above those two, but I'll put them above these other two. In fact, I'm sorry, Evanescence. Looking at this list now, you're kind of down here. I'll keep Kitty up here because I think they were really awesome for their time. Snot, rest in peace, Lynn Straight. I know they kind of tried to stay a band. He was Snot. You cannot replace him. His energy, his attitude, live, they were so incredible. I don't know how many people can say they even got to see Snot live because I saw them open for Life of Agony. The day the third Life of Agony record came out, Soul Searching Sun, which was not a well-received record, but I like it, parts of it. Other parts of it, not so much. That record came out, the day it came out, they headlined at the Bluebird in Denver, and Snot opened, and they were amazing. Their drummer was a stud. He like played with his head like really low, like almost on the snare. Amazing shit. They had one record, and then they were gone because he died, and it's so sad. They were recording their second record, and the dog that's on the cover of their debut album was with him, and they both got hit. They were crossing the highway because they were staying across the highway in LA from the recording studio. They both got hit by a truck, and they both died. So, sorry to bring that down. So if you see that album cover with that dog with the tennis ball on its nose, rest in peace to both the dog and Lynn Straight. So, sorry. Had to shout out the dog as well. Sad for sure. Soil, no opinion. Soulfly, are they really?
I am finally here.
Black metal, you're here. I'm reviewing a bunch of new metal bands, and a lot of them I don't have an opinion on that chat does because y'all are younger than me. Soulfly, Soulfly. They're not a D, but I'll tell you honestly, I have so much love for Sepultura and for Cavalera Conspiracy that Soulfly for me has always been okay. They're new metal-ish. That's a tough one. I like them. Okay. Good night. First Soulfly was great, and then they just kind of Pac, you're here. I'm ranking new metal records. Also, considering their age, so many converted from other genres, but I think Kitty was only one inspired by installing new metal. Yeah. On the B tier, maybe. Give me a Soulfly song. Never listened to them. Their first record was awesome. And then I kind of slowly lost touch with them, and I listened to their records, and I'm like, but they were never about the records. It was about going to see them live and seeing Max do his thing. But now I'd much rather see Cavalera. Much rather. Did she have an opinion? No, she said she's going to bed. Soulfly is better than fake Sepultura. And the fact that Sepultura is doing their final tour, but it's still with Derek, and it's like, I have nothing against Derek. Good vocalist. It's not Sepultura, man. The first record's good. I don't know how well it's aged. I have not listened to it in forever. Spike 1000. Who the hell is that? Spineshank. I'm going to look at Spineshank and Ultra Spank together. Ultra Spank's second record is called Progress. It's amazing. Ultra Spank, Progress. It's got a rat with like a human ear growing on it. It's one of those like science pictures. Progress. Such a good record. They're still kind of a C. They're kind of down here, but they're pretty good. Spineshank, The Height of Callousness. Oh my god, similar to Ultra Spank, but I'm gonna put them a little bit below. I think Ultra Spank was trying. They were a little bit better songwriters, but I put them kind of on the same level. And yes, they both have names that sound similar. Worked Spineshank, super nice guys, and they were fun live. I never got to see them or Ultra Spank live. By the time I moved to Dallas in 2002, they already were kind of on the way out. Stained. I will say this, their debut record was pretty good. And the fact that he was singing like emotionally over some really thick guitars was cool. But they were in that we were found by Limp Bizkit, who were found by Korn. It's like, okay, now we're getting 6 degrees of Jonathan Davis. And then they put up that second record, and if I hear It's Been a While one more time, I'm gonna bite my tongue off. Stained is a low D, and if you want to argue otherwise, go ahead. But for me, I'm only ranking them out of F because of their debut record. I don't want to hear Stained. And I definitely don't want to hear his country rock thing he's doing now. Out. I don't care where you go, just far. Thanks for that, Kois. Stained F tier. D minus. The first record's alright. Before they became who they are. Twang. It's been a while since I heard this band. I'll never hear them again. I did a new metal tier list when you brought it up, but I did albums instead of bands. I have some interesting takes. Okay. Did you stream that? I need to get you streaming. D minus minus. Okay. D minus, 12 minuses, but they're still above Saliva, Godsmack, and Mushroomhead. Static X. I worked their first record, Street Team. Their first record is so good. Simplistic, fun. Industrial, but not. I still love Wisconsin Death Trip. Everything they did after that, eh. The fact that they're still touring now with the guy from Dope with that mask. Look, if you want a nostalgia trip, help yourself. I don't want it. I'm going to put them as a high C because for me, I enjoyed working that record and handing out stuff. And getting to see them live before anybody knew who they were was pretty cool. Me personally, they're definitely above Crazy Town. In fact, I'm going to put them ahead of 311. In fact, I kind of need to put 311 down here a little bit more. Now that I'm looking at this list. And Crazy Town is further down. Yeah, like that. Machine is a great album too. Machine was a good record. You're right. Machine was a good record. High C. But I can't put them up here. Kitty to me was better. And still is better than what Static X did. Why is 311 on here? Kind of not new metal, but kind of came out in that time frame. Hip hop thing. Look at the definition. You showed me the definition, Treebeard. Do they not fit that? They were like a hip hop metal thing. They had the look. They wore the baggy jeans. Sepultura without Cavalera is like Static X without Wayne Static. Yeah, Sepultura had a couple decent songs with Derek, but no. Whatever is below F is 311. No, you missed it, Tree. I talked about the cover they did on the soundtrack for 50 First Dates. I'm trying to be nice, all right? It's Heavy Handswing's favorite band. It's my KD when I play Valorant. Taproot. Oh. They're just... Ugh. Trapped. F tier forever. F tier forever for Trapped. You're not even above Mushroomhead, bro. Your music already sucked. You had one radio hit and it's trash. It was trash then. It's trash now. And your takes on social media are just, look at me, everyone. Look at me. Hey, everyone, look at me. It's lame. It's tired. It's played out. Go away. I don't care where. Just far. That's just going to get too much play tonight. You're F tier. You're F minus. You're bad. And no one defends you. This is one I expect chat to not disagree with. And I don't care how headstrong you are. They're F minus. It worked for the moment and it continues to work, Kois. And then Turnstile covered. Wait, Turnstile covered them? Why? But Headstrong. That song's it's crap. Come on, it's crap. Trapped is the worst band on this list than probably ever. Black metal. High five. That pun was F minus. Yeah, well. All right, we're almost done. Un Loco. I saw them. Headline. A tiny bar in Amarillo. I like some of their debut record. They really didn't do much of anything. Like, I was really rooting for these guys. And I don't know for what reason, if they just went on, they just gave up. They were kind of uninspired for the most part. A couple of really good tracks in their debut. Yeah, I'm sorry. High D. Can't go any higher. And that's it. The rest of the list I'm not ranking. Sepultura is not new metal. Get the hell out of here. Roots is not new metal. Go away. Kid Rock doesn't deserve to be spoken about on new metal. There's the list. Okay, so YouTube, thank you for sticking around this long. I've been blabbing a lot. Do you agree with my S tier list? Who, out of no opinion, should be S tier? Chat, that's what I want to know. Do you see a band in here that should be S tier? Besides Linkin Park. All right. One of y'all said Il Nino. Okay, I'm going to do this because y'all... that's for you. All right, chat. This is a tip of the cap and a tip of the hat of respect for a band that has brought so many people to heavier music. I don't really care about them. But maybe when I listen to a couple of tracks, maybe I'll hear them in a different way. But considering how much they did for heavier music, even though they were kind of mainstream, they were a bridge for so many people. I will give them their props. I will give them their flowers. Here are your roses, Linkin Park. Yes, you deserve to be S tier. I think my having them as no opinion is probably not fair to them. But you can't make me care. You would put Cold Chamber up there? Higher as S tier? Kid Rock S+. Shut up, Pac! Where's Nickelback? On Roadrunner Records, their first record. T-Wirtz. You worked Nickelback's first record, right? I almost want to get you in Discord and have you tell a story. Nickelback is a solid C band, if we're being honest. I wouldn't argue against that. They have written some bangers. I mean, stripper anthems, but bangers. It's dadcore. It's a little boomer core, but they wrote some really catchy songs. My boy Donnie, we were talking shit on those guys one time, and a friend of mine plays bass with Toadies, and he's like, say what you want about Nickelback, they're really good songwriters. And I'm like, really? Coming from you? He's like, they're millionaires for a reason. They're really good songwriters. I'm not saying I'm a fan, just saying. You hear this stuff and you're like, fuck, that's catchy. I'm like, okay, that's fair. I can respect that. I would probably, honestly, if Nickelback was on this list, I'd probably put them as C. Chad Kroeger did a collab with Devin Townsend. Yes, he did. And they got along really well, and they're friends. And I actually like that. I really like that a lot. Unexpected. Cold Chamber's S tier for you. Cold Chamber Live were amazing, and their first record was of its time. Not an easy listen now. Crossbreed should be a B. All right. All right. Skindred should be on the list. I know some people love Skindred. I've never really given them a fair shake. I did. They are nice. They killed live. They make fun of themselves. That's all you can ask for. So Nickelback. T-Wirtz worked their first record. Rockstar was lit. Exceeded Led Zeppelin all-time radio play despite 3-decade head start. Well, that's something to be said for it, right? I mean, 50 million Elvis fans. Even years later, Chad remembered me and was cool. Oh, for real? T-Wirtz, if Nickelback comes through again and you want to go, I'll be your +1. Kind of ironic, but I'll probably be bobbing my head. 1111 Make-A-Wish. Look, I have seen bands that are not heavy. I've seen I've seen John Mellencamp live. All right, have some fun, branch out. I would go, but I don't think they're touring. Still catching up with chat, and then we'll call it a stream, or we'll call it a tier maker. We're gonna finish the bit war here in a minute. Machine Head is S tier. Okay. Not for me, but sure. Honestly, I should probably rank them ahead of Fear Factory. Now that I look at that, I reach for Machine Head more than I reach for Fear Factory, but I like Crazy Fist more, even though they did not get as much love. Maybe their actual new metal stuff is mid, but the Blackening is. I'll do the Blackening. I would always go see them. It's a fun show. All right. I don't know if they're still touring. I'm seeing Machine Head in 3 days. I don't disagree. Hell yeah. Mumford & Sons was awesome. Limp, do you even like heavy music? I'm kidding. Dude, I saw Coldplay on their second record. They were fucking great live. And you will get there and you will know all the songs. Weren't we talking about Loverboy opening for Sammy Hagar? And it's like, Holy crap, I know like every single one of these songs. Even though I think the singer's lip syncing. It's still, you know all the songs. Okay, I gotta call this. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, tell me on the comments, please, if you made it this far, who on here also belongs in S tier? And is there a band now down on my no opinion that you would put as S tier? Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Click the head and subscribe. And thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time.